In example 6, we're going to be able to write a function from a description. So let's talk about translations of exponential functions. A translation of an exponential function has the form f of x, which is equal to a times b to the x plus c power plus d, where the parent function is y is equal to b to the x and b is greater than 1, is shifted horizontally c units to the left, stretched vertically by a factor of the absolute value of a if absolute value of a is greater than 0. It's compressed vertically by a factor of the absolute value of a if if absolute value of a is in between 0 and 1. And it's shifted vertically d units, and then reflecting it about the x-axis when a is less than 0. Now note that the order of the shifts, transformations, and reflections follow the order of operations. So in this question here, it says we want to write the equation for the function described below, and we're going to give the horizontal asymptote, the domain, and the range. Now f of x is going to equal e to the x, is vertically stretched by a factor of 2, reflected across the y-axis, and then shifted up 4 units. What we want to find is an equation of the general form, f of x, which is equal to ab to the x plus c power plus d. And we're going to use that description provided to find a, b, c, and d. So first we are given the parent function, and that parent function f of x is equal to e to the x. So the base is going to equal e, so we know what b is equal to. Now the function is stretched by a factor of 2, so we know that since it's stretched by a factor of 2, then a is going to equal 2. Now we also know that the function is reflected about the y-axis, so we're going to replace x with a negative x to get e to the negative x. And the graph is finally shifted up vertically 4 units, so we know that d is equal to 4. So substituting that into the general form, we know that a is 2, we know we have e to the negative x, we don't have a value of c, which is 0, and we have a value of d, which is 4. So we would get the function 2e to the negative x plus 4. So the domain of this function is always going to be negative infinity to positive infinity. The range is going to start at the value of d, which is the horizontal asymptote, so it's going from 4 to positive infinity, and the horizontal asymptote is y equals 4.